Hello again everyone, and welcome to another edition of Wine Wisdom. Today's topic is aging gracefully. The reason I'm bringing this topic up is because we frequently get questions here about how long should I let this wine age, or what is the best way to store my wine? Very good questions, and there's direct application to that question with the wines from this part of the world. Let me start with saying that whites and rosés are generally best consumed within a year of production. Why? Well, because white wines and rosé wines are really about expressing fruit-forward aromatics and bright acidity. They are at their highest peak within that first year after being bottled. So go ahead and enjoy those whites and rosés right away. Ice wine is sort of an exception to that rule regarding a white wine, as ice wine has a lot of sugar and acidity and complexity and mouthfeel that will develop over time. So ice wine will continue to age gracefully. Now with red wines, if it's a fruit-forward red where there's no oak interference with it, then I would say enjoy it right away. But when you get to a red wine that was aged in oak, now we're talking about the introduction of tannin to the wine. And so the blending of tannins with alcohol and acidity and sugars evolves at different rates through the course of time. And so that added dimension can make a red wine become more interesting as it sits in the bottle. An example of this would be F Squared. Now this wine in 2015, I believe, won a bronze medal. All it did was sit another year in the bottle, and in 2016, it won Best Wisconsin Red. And this is a blend of our Foch and Frontenac. Those two grape varietals really represent what winemaking will be from this part of the world. The acidities are very high in these grapes due to the nature of these grapes and due to our cool climate. And it is not exaggerating by saying that the acidity of, say, an F Squared is literally twice that of, say, a Cabernet from Napa Valley. And it's the acidity in the wine that gives it its backbone and its structure that will allow it to age gracefully and still hold together. So with many of our reds from this part of the world, the ability to become more complex over time is enhanced by the inherent characteristics of our varietals and our cooler climate. Now another question is, well, how should I age this wine? Well, the common wisdom is to age wine between 53 and 63 degrees Fahrenheit, and then to keep the humidity about 60% in the room where that wine is stored. The key thing is not to let the temperature fluctuation or the humidity fluctuation be too great, because these bottles are sealed with natural cork and they are prone to change based on what the temperatures are and the humidity is. If the cork gets too dry because it's not very humid or too warm, then what we're going to have is premature oxidation of that wine as the cork shrinks and more air gets into the bottle. So that's a key thing to remember if you want to hold on to a bottle for a while. And the best way to make sure that the cork does not shrink too much is to rest the bottle on its side to keep that cork moist all the way through. So in general, many would say that 90% of wines are meant to be consumed right away, the wines that you find on your shelves here in the United States. But I think that overlooks the fact, or really acknowledges that 90% of the wine on the store shelf is made in California with much different chemistries than the wines from this part of the world. So many of our reds do improve greatly over the course of time, and through generations we are going to really come to realize this fact as we get more and more experience with red wines from the upper Midwest. Now, in order to enjoy both aspects of this, I would recommend then, go ahead and buy a few bottles of the wine that you enjoy. Enjoy one at the moment, and then save one or two for a later date and open it up, and you'll be able to appreciate again the beauty of that wine as it has aged over time. So until next time, cheers.